Investors in cryptocurrency are keeping a keen watch on the market after the Nasdaq launch a few hours ago of a new Bitcoin futures fund. Bitcoin itself hit a record high of more than $66,000 on Wednesday, with hopes that the listing of the Valkyrie exchange-traded fund will attract a host of new investors. Well, let's talk now to Jeffrey Tucker, who's president of the Brownstone Institute, which follows the crypto sector closely. Good to have you with us on the program, Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us. So we've seen Bitcoin hit an all-time high this week, taking other cryptocurrencies with it. Is this a bubble that's never going to burst?
It will burst. It always bursts. That's the way these markets work. They go way up, a tremendous amount of exuberance, and up and up and up, and then there's a fallback below the previous high, and then it crawls up and crawls up and crawls up. And it's been the pattern for 10 years. So yeah, we're going to see some pullback in this sector here. I would say pretty soon, actually, but I do think it's a significant move in the sense that it does reflect a wild optimism for the ETFs that are being approved. And it's going to be 1, then 2, then 5, then 10, then 20. And the U.S. regulators have shown themselves willing to tolerate this kind of investments, which is a bit of a shock, actually. I'm not sure anybody was really anticipating this. And there's also a great and growing interest in Bitcoin as a safe haven asset during really bad economic times. We've got supply chain breakages, ports clogged, inflation pushing all over the place, labor shortages. Things are really looking bad in the U.S. right now and in many places of the world. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have not broken. They haven't shut down. They've performed very well over the last 20 months, and people are starting to notice.
So is all of this a sign that cryptocurrencies are really now mainstream?
You know, that's an interesting question. I've seen ever fewer claims that this is actually a Ponzi scheme or that the natural value of Bitcoin is zero, that this stuff is useless, and so on and so on. When you have central bankers out there saying, oh, we're going to have our own cryptocurrency. Oh, these stable coins are a good idea, but we need to regulate them and maybe take them over. It's a funny way in which governments and central banks themselves have conferred a kind of legitimacy on the crypto sector that it previously had lacked. I mean, let's face it, these assets are difficult to understand. And they've been under a cloud for the better part of their whole existence. That cloud does seem to be, I would say, like dissipating. I don't think it's entirely gone yet, but it's getting closer and closer. I mean, 2 years ago, fancy finance people were still making fun of me for my interest in this sector. And I'm hearing ever less of that now these days. No apologies yet, but a little less teasing than I used to get.
Well, I wanted to pick up on what you said. You said you thought a crash might be coming sooner than some people expected. This volatility problem hasn't gone away, though, has it?
No. And here's what's funny. People do not want it to go away. We need to understand that. The volatility is one of the appeals. This is why regular people like to be in these markets. They like the risk. They like the daring do that's associated with buying and randomly assuming it's going to go up and up and up and feeling good about their decisions and then waking up in the morning and discovering they've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and crying about that. So it's all part of the fun and games of the sector, and it always has been. This is why these, you wake up one morning and there's some weird token you've never heard of is up 400%. People like that kind of volatility. If you want stability, there's stable coins out there that allow you to do very fast transactions across borders, much better than any other system, wire transfers and blah, blah, blah. That's a great system. Mostly those stable coins are used now by exchanges and individuals. But once the stable coins can be available for large businesses and nonprofits and that sort of thing, they're going to grow and grow and grow. So if you want stability, there's stable coins, but Nobody wants stability in these other tokens. They want volatility so they can play the markets and have some fun.
Fun indeed. Jeffrey Tucker from the Brownstone Institute. Great to have you with us on the program today. Thank you.
Always my pleasure.